Hi, it's Choury here at Orange County Hypnosis Center. We're talking and exploring the business of having a good relationship. In the first video, I talked about the three aspects of having a good relationship that have to do with control, approval, and safety. I explored the business of control that has to do with emotional control in the first two videos. And now we're going to talk about approval and why approval is a fundamental part of having a good relationship. Well, as I mentioned in the first video, having a good relationship with yourself is fundamental to having a good, positive, healthy relationship with someone else. Now, the approval aspect of this is really quite interesting. Here's a fundamental fact that has to do with approval. When someone withdraws their approval of you, it creates a dynamic in you that causes you to seek their approval. Now, even if now this happens a lot with brainwashing. This happens, I've worked with people who've been in cults and that sort of thing, and how they need the approval of the cult leader so much that they're willing to do almost anything to get that approval. Now, when I talk about this dynamic of approval, it's very interesting. It's fascinating to know that in any kind of relationship, when we have, let's say, a coming together of two people, if one person withdraws their approval of the other person, it creates a dynamic in the person who's not getting the approval of needing that person's approval to the point where they will chase that person down to try and get their approval, even when the other person, let's say the person who's disapproving, even when that person has a very imbalanced perspective. This dynamic happens a lot in relationships that have to do with a lot of drama and trauma. You've probably heard about these kinds of relationships that can be very abusive. Why does the abused person go back to the person who's abusing them? That's the victim-victimizer kind of consciousness. We're going to explore that in the next video. For now, remember, approval is a very interesting aspect of this dynamic of having a good relationship. First, you need to be in a place of approving of yourself. And then we're going to explore the other dynamic that has to do with when someone withdraws their approval and how we go chasing after them to get it. We're going to talk more about that next time. See you then.